welcome back to Bobchi's Corner. We're in my kitchen, Bobchi's kitchen, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Barb. Let me slow down. Let me get my thoughts together. I have green tomatoes here, green cherries and all different varieties of green tomatoes. I've already made one batch of green pasta sauce, and I felt it came out so good. And this is kind of a take on pesto sauce, but it's not pesto sauce, although you are using basil. So instead of like basil, pine nuts, olive oil, I'm not sure what else goes into pesto, garlic, we're going to use green tomatoes. I'm going to roast them with onion, garlic, green tomatoes. I'm going to add basil, other flavors, additional garlic powder, or whatever. But I thought I'd bring you along. The first batch I made, I really liked a lot. It came out so good. And I brought it together with a heavy whipping cream. But you can use any cream to your liking, half and half, light cream, heavy, whatever you like. That and Parmesan cheese just brought this entire thing together. And honest to God, this was such a good pasta sauce that I'm actually going to do it again, bring you along, and can it for the shelf. So let's get to it. We're not going to get to it just yet. I know there's a glare. I can't do anything about that. I'm not going to apologize because I can't control it. So now I can say, let's get to it. So I have my green tomatoes, some onions, some garlic. I'm going to roast all this. But instead of putting on my cookie sheet first, I'm going to put it in here, put some olive oil, mix it around, and then pour it on my cookie sheet. I think that's easier and less messy for me. So let me get going with these. These are all washed and ready to go. So let me start by cutting these in half. I'm taking the core out, or the stem side, so that I don't have any of this in there. And I'm going to just throw them in here. I should probably quarter these. So I'm gonna link a recipe in my description box, but I'm just gonna do my own thing, loosely following that recipe, which calls for the onion, the garlic, and the tomatoes. So I'm just gonna loosely follow that, but it will be linked in my description box. This is the last of my garlic that I grew this past year. I am going to be growing about 3 pounds of garlic this upcoming year. I bought some more seed garlic, so didn't realize how much 3 pounds was going to be. So I'm going to have plenty of garlic for next year. So I didn't really measure how much of what I just piled it. You know, whatever looked good. I've got my onions and garlic, my tomatoes. Oh, let me put these craps back in the freezer. The reason I didn't put all my peels in this bag is because some of the peels really looked raunchy. They didn't look good at all. And I did have an onion that had like a spot that was starting to rot. I did not put that in this bag. So I'm going to put this back in my freezer. And let me get my oil. I'll be back. I'm going to use my extra virgin olive oil. Well, let me do this one first. So as you can see, I have some tomatoes that started to blush. I threw those in. I got green cherry tomatoes in here, but mostly they're all green tomatoes. I got a few that started to turn, and it was like, well, let me throw them in. I have, as you can see, I have so many that I need to add to the freezer with the rest of them, but I am seriously jam-packed in my freezer. So this was another reason I was doing this, because I'm running out of room. So I tried this once before, and the sauce is actually wonderful, like I said before. Okay, my oven is preheating. It's not preheated yet. It's going to take about 15 minutes to preheat. So I'm just going to, I think I'm going to add just a little bit more. There we go. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to salt or pepper anything. Oops. Okay. That's okay. It's one of these cheap little bowls you buy at the Dollar General. I've got my tomatoes on here. Stir this back up. Dump that on here. I'm going to roast this for approximately 45 minutes. And I'm going to stir it in between. So about 20 minutes into, I'll check on it. And I'll stir everything up and put it back in. It could go up to anywhere up to 45 minutes to an hour, especially with my stove. So there we have it. We have, this actually looks beautiful. My first time around, it didn't look this pretty. Maybe because I have some blushing tomatoes in here, giving it some nice color. I did mention I was going to can this up after, correct? I don't remember, but I will be doing it. This is going to be my pasta sauce, my green pasta sauce that I'm going to jar up and put on my shelf, in case I didn't say it. Okay. So this was in there for 30 minutes, and I'm going to stir it up. But before I stir it up, I want to fish out the garlic. I don't want the garlic to burn. I probably should have just put it in the corner somewhere, like I did the last time, but I didn't peel it the last time. That was a nightmare. back in for approximately another 15-30 minutes, probably 15 minutes. These look like 45-minute total will be ideal. So I think this will be good after another 15 minutes. And we'll come back at that point. I just pulled this out of the oven. They did a total of 45 minutes. So while they were in there for that, after stirring, I put it in for the additional 15. While they were in there during that 15, I went and got my basil plant. And I'm just getting my basil together. Okay, so everything is coming to the last of things. So this is the last of my homegrown garlic. This is the last of my basil out of my garden. I was taking clippings and just sticking them in water, as you can see here. It's a little gross, but it actually developed roots and has been doing very well. And I just, whatever I used, I was replenishing with more. So this is what's left from the basil in my garden. I have 2 cups here. I'm trying to pack a lot of flavor to this because green tomatoes don't have any flavor really established yet. Although when I puree this and put it in the pan, I try it, it will taste like tomatoes. Just so you're aware, it's not going to be bitter, it's not going to be sour, none of that. But I am still trying to pack as much flavor as I could into this. So I'll probably be adding garlic powder, onion powder. We'll see. Let's see where this takes us. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw everything in the blender. So I have my garlic broth out here. Honestly, I think you could use anything. Veggie broth, chicken broth, anything that you need to make it blend. I'm choosing to use garlic broth. And this is to help puree everything. So like the basil gets a little stuck on the bottom, and I just want to make sure everything blends very well. Let's add our spices. I'm going to start with, I actually like this, the garlic and herb. by Spice Islands. I actually really like this. So I'm going to start off with a tablespoon of this. I'll link this in my description box. But I pretty much use this for a lot of stuff. And even though it has garlic, I'm still gonna, and garlic on top of garlic on top of garlic. So roasted garlic, garlic broth, garlic and herb, and now garlic powder. 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to do a tablespoon of onion powder. A heaping tablespoon. I'm going to do a teaspoon of salt. That's what I'm going to start with. And I will just keep adding until it comes to the right saltiness for me. And a teaspoon of ground black pepper. I think at this point it's better if I just use a whisk. So let me get this one. Because everything's already pureed, so it'll just work better. I'm going to let this simmer on a medium low, covered. I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. About 30 minutes on a medium low. And we'll come back, we'll taste it. That should give it enough time for those spices to kind of do their thing. And we'll come back, we'll try it, and see what else we need to add. Okay, let me give this a try. It's been on medium low for about 30 minutes. So I set the timer at 30 minutes, but it was actually 29 and a half. So I just want to stir this up and see where we are at. Let me get a spoon. I want to try this. This is good. I think I'm going to add another teaspoon of salt. I probably should wait before I taste so it disintegrates, but I'm going to try it. Let's go for it. Perfect. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to jar up for the shelf what I could. The remainder I'm going to take out and put in a little saucepan. And I'll show you how I do this for my pasta. So let's get the canning first. And I'll bring you back. Okay, so for citric acid, I'm going to need 1/4 teaspoon per pint and 1/8 per half pint, which I have one here. So I just want to get this in so I do not forget to put this in. So that's a 1/4 teaspoon into that one. And everyone in here. And then this one is going to be a 1/4 teaspoon. Or an eighth, not a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm sorry. An eighth of a teaspoon, which is a half of a 1/4. So there we go. And I'll do more jars up if I need to. Okay, let's get to filling. We're gonna fill these. I'm gonna wipe the rims, and this time I'm gonna use my Tatler lids. And I'll show you how to use those. So let's get to filling. I'm gonna wipe the rim, put my Tatler lids on, and put my rings on. And when you put the rings on, when you tighten them half with your fingertip tight, you're gonna back it off by a 1/4 inch. You'll see when I do it. So as you saw, I struggled with this one because this is not a standard jar. I think these jars are different, and I always struggle when I use these. And I try to use these for single servings, but we'll see what happens with this one, if it seals or not. I definitely could not get the ring on with the Tatler on one of these jars. And I think these are like jelly jars. So, got my Tatlers on. I'm going to put them in my steam bath. Oh, this one I need to wipe down. Okay. So once this heats up, the word fruit saver needs to face me, and the words on the lever here needs to line up with fruit saver. So that's why you see me turning this. Once this heats up and the lever goes to my elevation, which is dark green, then I could start my timer for 35 minutes. So right now we're just gonna heat the bottom pan up and bring it up to temperature. So I want to show you it has reached the dark green area, so I can start my timer. So now I want to show you with this little bit, it's like a single serving or 2 servings of sauce, what I do with this. So before, in my last batch, I used heavy whipping cream. I found that to be too rich, and I usually find that to be too rich even for my vodka sauce. So I am going to use some half and half. I think that might be better. So I did a splash of half and half, which will cream this up very nicely. Look at that. That is so nice. What I want to do is try this. This might be good for a couple of servings here because this is very flavorful, packs a punch. So once I add the Parmesan cheese, we'll see. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. So let's make a little plate with the pasta. And we'll taste it with the Parmesan cheese, this, and pasta. I cooked up 2 ounces of spaghetti here. So this is gonna be my dinner. I want to say my snack. Because I'm usually used to having like a protein with it, and I think this will be terrific with it, like an Italian chicken breast. That would be terrific. So let me get a little bit of this sauce on here. I may even have enough for 2 servings. Look at that. This is just enough. Perfect. And I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese. I took this out of my freezer. A tablespoon maybe? Maybe not even. Let's see. Yeah, a tablespoon I think is good. Well, let's see how it tastes. If I want to get fancy, if I want to really be fancy, I can do something like that. A couple of basil leaves just for looks. There we go. How's that? More? Maybe chopped up? Sprinkled? Who knows? Oh, let's see if that will look better. Let me chop that up and see if I can get this to look better. Everybody does such a fancy dish. Me, not so much. I just want to put it together and eat it. So let's try this. Like we need more basil, right? After all that basil that I put into it. How does that look? Is that better? Is that prettier? I know, people eat with their eyes. So there we go. How's that? Much better, right? Perfect. Let me give this a try. Oh my goodness. I need the spoon. There we go. I have to say, this is really good. I almost prefer it to red sauce because with the red sauce I find it pretty acidic. This is not acidic at all. And with red sauce, you kind of have to modify it with sugars or baking soda or throw a carrot in or a potato, whatever, whoever's trick works for them. This does not need any tricks. This is the best sauce I've had in a long time. So these have been sitting here for about 15 minutes after the timer went off. So now I'm just gonna take these out. Doesn't that look pretty? And I'm gonna let them sit here overnight and cool down until they fully seal. I'll take the rings off. I will not store them with the rings on. I will take them off and put them on my shelf downstairs with the rest of my sauces. So thank you once again for joining me in Babci's Corner in my kitchen while I made my green tomato pasta sauce. Hope to see you soon. Until next time.